Live chat, and let's go. I forgot exactly how we'd rebuilt it. That is not how that used to work. That's not important. Hey, Sim, congrats. Hey, Mara, Answer Man, welcome. All right. I have no idea what this fight feels like. Just go. Wow. It incorrectly read my combo. It's wild. I don't know why I keep doing that. Not helpful. Goes way too slow off of that. My fault. I forgot the glancing could happen when it's not a crit. No. Yeah, I've noticed that, Sim. I understand that there were probably some bugs with the original way this was coded, but I liked it better. That was my fault. That's fine. Yeah, Quicksilver makes sense. But I don't really see him making sense on the rest of this path. And I have a lot of small revives. I'm not concerned about only taking 10% off, honestly. That's not what buff means, TC. Don't make me get the sign. Hey, Chris. Hey, Dementia, welcome for thanks for coming over. Thanos, Devil, Highline. That's going fine, in my opinion. Bro. See, how is it already at 5 there? Like, there's something wrong with how... If this was supposed to reduce bugs, it didn't work. That's okay, man. I'll probably bring up the deep dive after this one is done. I knew that was gonna happen. This fight is so buggy. I'm so over it. You jerk. So many freaking timers in this fight. And there goes precious seconds. Come on, just let me get to my special 2 and we'll cash in some last little bits of damage. Thank you, that's 1 more percent. And that's the end. Alright, that was 90 to 56. I'll take it. Thanks, Dig. Yeah, Thanos. White Tiger is definitely a little bit of a Mystic skill hybrid, but Purify on a Mystic is weird, and so we tried to make it as responsible as possible. I wouldn't bet on that being soon, TC, the Luke Cage thing, because for one thing, the CCP has not seen it. Technically, when they do see things is under embargo, but they haven't seen it. That's not under embargo, so I'm just telling you. um, but even when they do, I think it's going to be longer this time because we've just been burned too many times with the CCP making cool videos and then the community deciding that that's locked in or that that's disappointing, and either way, any future changes being a problem. So I would expect the CCB embargoes to be significantly longer with Luke. Yeah, we definitely took a bit of a break from Nullify for a while there in Mystic. That's actually part of the reason Kushala works the way she does, is we kind of wanted to return to form. You jerk. No! Ah! You jerk. That was my fault, though. I should have just thrown it a second earlier. I'm so worried I'm going to get stunned. And I was right. Okay, now we can safely throw another heavy. Because we threw the special too. We got 2 in, that's awesome. Would be great if he threw this. Dude! Oh. No, I had that parry. Okay. Sometimes this just doesn't work. And I should have done the 5-hit combo there, because now I'm just messing up because I'm angry. But I'm also parrying when I'm not supposed to, which is very fun and interactive. Please throw it. Is there anything in this fight that prevents a miscounter? No, but a lot of miscounters crit. And crits are tricky against this guy. Yep, there it is. I just... He was not playing into me in the slightest there. I can't comment on that, Blizzard. I'm feeling a little better, Min. Definitely not 100%. But... Actually, no. You know what? I don't think I am feeling better than yesterday. Oh, it's okay. I'm alright. Yeah, we'll see, Stig. Yeah, I don't know where I land on that, man. Like, on the one hand, it's definitely interesting to see the full changes. Should have thrown a heavy there. But on the other hand, like, I don't know. Just whenever it comes to this stuff, I'm always... The two halves of me are at war. There's the part of me that's a teacher and wants to communicate. And then there's the part of me that's a game designer for this game in particular and just knows that putting exactly what was changed side by side is a great way to create complaints for this community. Come on. Thank you. I do hate that you can't parry. Whoop, not that. Ah. It's alright, that's my fault. Hey, Pi, how's it going? Hi, Mike. Sorry about that. If you're asking me, Hussein, if any part of me wants that, no, absolutely not. She's boring to play. She's busted for game balance. There's basically nothing redeeming in her. Why can't you parry him when you're unstoppable? Because if he has five, or if he has two or more of his pink charges, then he will passively stun me and remove the unstoppable. Very bad. It's totally fine if he's not, if he doesn't have two of them. That's why we have to be really careful not to push him to the special 2 when he's in the unstoppable phase. Because I don't have the perfect special 2 decks down 100% of the time. And blocking even one hit of it is disastrous. He's just waiting out the timers. Very uncool, but the special 2 doesn't matter as much here, because he only has one. So I would actually love for him to throw it. There we go. push into special 2 here. That was almost extremely dumb. Better. There's a brutal turn of events. Yeah. He wasn't letting us out of that one. Yeah, and it's really cool when Cat does that. And I don't know, I'd like for us to do that more, but I also know that the balance team is overworked, and I'm just not really concerned with asking them to do more when I'm not sure it would be a net positive. Yeah. And that's the thing, Easy. It's not that I'm also high. It's not that I'm saying we shouldn't do it because somebody's going to complain. It's that it is significant work for someone to add on top of the other posts and specifically do this side by side. What was it? What is it now? Here's a change log. That is real work that comes out of somebody's 9 to 5. And the question is, should we do that if the outcome is not necessarily positive? Yeah, no problem. I would love to take a stab at pronouncing your name, but I am useless with. I think that's Greek. There are different kinds of boring then. And I'm talking about boring, not in the, hey, look at my reflexes sense. I'm talking about boring in the sense of there is just no RPG depth to this character in a game full of RPG interactions. She doesn't care what anybody else is doing. You're not actually playing Marvel Contest of Champions when you're playing Quake. You're playing Quake. And that's the part that I hate about her. Like, mini-games are fine. Mini-games that bypass the rest of the game and allow you to not have to play, not so much. Oh, come on, buddy. Thank you. Oh, I wasn't ready. He caught me with the kick. That's unfortunate. I don't know. In my opinion, if you find Quake really interesting, then like go play Fruit Ninja. I just don't think she has a place here. I actually didn't do anything to that TC. I meant to. Oh, you know what? I think it just moved on its own. Yeah, it did. Okay, that explains why I thought that I had it set, and it changed. All right, chat's about to reset. Sorry. Cool. If he just wasn't so passive, this fight would be a lot more interesting, in my opinion, because then you could actually do things like when you do the 4-hit combos, you would have a chance to parry immediately and land a heavy right after it. See, there actually I could have, and I just missed my timing. But so often he just sits there and he's like, I'm Stryfe, look at my block animation. Isn't it pretty? Oof. Jerk. Dang it. There we go. Successfully defused the glancing and the possible unstoppable. There we go. Yeah, Dane. That sounds super painful with Carl. Not many people ever ranked up Longshot, but I do think he is the best by a good margin. And then Tigro, Werewolf, and Hood are all very good for it. All three have a certain amount of risk in that if he just decides to play passive, you can get yourself in a pickle. But in my opinion, like those are the only four I would send. At least off the top of my head. Yeah. How many paths left after this one? Just one after this. Thank you for phrasing the question that way. Appreciate it. Voiceover for champs in the game? I seriously doubt we ever do that. If they want to put me in one of the like trailers or something, because that's kind of a throwaway, sure, they know where to find me. My rate would be cheap. But I'm not a professional voice actor. How is Stryfe gaining telepathic charges? I mean, there's a variety of ways, but for the most part in that fight, Stryfe was gaining telepathic charges either from us missing or from him missing. Kate Wong and Shuri probably sets you up pretty well for a straight path 5, Dane. Red Goblin into Elsa. That's probably where I would start. His heavy can't be evaded. Do you mean specifically when the first hit lands while the opponent is stunned, Pi? I can see the blue steel thing. I don't care. You know what? I will. Let me walk this back a little bit, Rio. Your first two felt very ominous and creepy. And so my first instinct was to hide you on the channel. I'm walking that back because maybe that's not what you intended and this could be a language thing. I'm keeping the timeout up because that was very weird. But let's consider that a warning, and we'll see if that was a misunderstanding. Hey, Slay, how's it going? Yeah, so there are every attack has a hit stun, Pie Guy. It's what allows you to land a light safely after a medium. Um, and the hit stun before, like the relationship between the hit stun your attack inflicts and when your next attack window opens up is the basic thing that governs combos, right? Because for your medium one, the attack window, the next time you can act, is like that opens up before the hit stun for your medium one expires. It's why you can land a light attack, another medium, or a special attack after that medium one, right? But for your medium two, the attack window opens after the hit stun expires. That's why you can't follow up after a medium two with another medium one. Um, special attacks and special attacks in general are supposed to have enough hit stun that if one hit lands, the rest will not allow you to dex out of it. And that's true for heavies as well. There seems to be some, like, you shouldn't be able to dex or block. There seems to be some inconsistency with whether we think you should be able to auto evade. I'm honestly not sure where that sits. But that's what's happening there. My guess is that Colossus's hit stun is just tuned such that if the first hit lands, the second does, at least for auto evades. I don't believe there's anything in it that actually prevents the evade. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. Let's spots extra stuff. I am scared about this. Excuse me. Jeez. Okay, it's just spot with more specials. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Oh, I thought he was blocking. That's okay. Hey, Vega, how's it going? First try, 12%. I can handle that. Bullseye looks like a real photon counter. I wouldn't lean too much into that. Um, like he can't miss. Sure, that's great. He has nothing to deal with her going into pure light form and killing you. You and Vega sound similar in the way you talk. We're friends. We're both originally from California. I don't know what to do with that information. Dang it. I just needed to throw one more hit. Fine, just wait. Oh, wait, did y'all not see any of that fight? That's a bummer. Hey, Sim. No, I haven't done that yet, Jason. I started a round of boosts, and my plan was to just do the White Tiger watch party after the boosts fall off, which will be sometime in the next couple fights, depending on how well I play. But thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Similar vernacular cadence in your speech. That makes sense. We went to the same undergrad at different points in our life as well. Maybe there's something in the water. I don't know. Taking down the Christmas lights. This part always makes me a bit sad. Love the Christmas holiday season. Yeah, it's always nice. Especially when the weather's not too bad. Okay, let's try not to die here. Dang it, come on. Whoops, that's fine. I mean, we got another 12% off. This is not the end of the world. Is Fury good for this spot fight? I don't know. Like, he's got the disorient, and so that will allow you to freely hit his block because portal block won't be up, and so you don't have to worry about the energize, right? That part will be nice. I think his damage is going to be lower than Kate's in general because you have to play around some other things. I honestly don't know. You're going to be doing the whole thing at 30%, but, like, that's how revives work. I don't think he'd be significantly worse than Kate anyway. Wait, how did... How did that start another combo? Oh my god, I hate the implementation of this node so much. Throw your special. Ah, that's fine. We're making a steady pace. I feel like my main opponent is the implementation of the trap mode, which is frustrating. That's awful, Mike. I'm sad to hear that. Bro. This fight would not be nearly as difficult if he just threw his frickin' specials. It's so hard to deal with that special one rooted. Oh, that's okay. That was a better one though. We made up for our life that was only 10%. Yeah, I'm not upset with this efficiency, Vega, but that's because I came into it assuming it would suck. And it has. But seriously, anyone prepping to take this fight, you need to know his special punishes. You absolutely need to be able to deal with them, or you're just going to get pushed into the corner with him untouchable more significantly more often than I have. So watch that. Yeah, Kate's definitely good because you get a special off and then you just kind of try and stay alive for a while she does damage. That is helpful. But the fact that a new timer can start in the middle of your current combo just drives me insane. And I'm dead. Cannot believe we survived that. And now we lose to this because we had to hit his block one more time. Nope, never mind. I mess up the punish. It doesn't matter. We would have died to the rupture. Sorry, I haven't made that noise on stream in a while. Yeah, I could have tried harder on that one, Min. I got too proud of the one before it. He's going down. Okay, I would love for you to throw this special. Thank you. He hit me while dexing there, didn't he? Thanks, Mike. I appreciate you. Nice. There goes. That'll help. I hope. I'm doing this one precisely because I do consider it to be the harder one, and I'm trying to get it out of the way. My options line up pretty well with what I have left, which is Sauron into Guardian. Dang it, now I'm going to be untouchable. But if I hit him one more time and send him to 4, we would have had a different problem, so I think that was actually worth it. It's just... it's annoying. If he just threw a special every time he got up, this would be no problem at all. I didn't mean to throw 2 hits there. I swear I went medium and stop. Oh, okay. All right, our boosts have fallen off. It is time for what you call it? There's a thing. Oh yeah, the watch party. But I need to use the restroom real quick. So we're gonna try this out. Oh, that's so small. Oh, why is it so small? That's so funny. Can I make it fit? Stupid. All right, you know what? I hold on. I can just do math real quick. Um, what? Oh, okay. Okay. Uh, and I haven't fully finished this one anyway, but I will be back. That was so silly. I apologize for reigniting some old trauma, TJ. Okay. I clearly have to clean up that screen later. Um, Funny thing is, we came back to this, but it doesn't really matter because what we actually want to do is bring up the deep dive. Okay. Does this work? Okay, that does kind of help. Pretty close. I always have to redo the crop on this one, like every time. It's very annoying. wish I could just tell the incognito window to remember how big it's supposed to be, but they love you. Okay. Make sure he's loud enough. Put on my headphones. And we begin. I just clicked on OBS instead of the actual YouTube.
What is going on, Summoners? We're back here today with another Champion Deep Dive. Today, we're talking about White Tiger. So, sit back and relax, because it's time to get into it. White Tiger enters the contest with the might of the Tiger God, granting her immunity to all nullify effects. She also has 70% reduced offensive combat power rate, but she passively gains power equal to 50% of the power her opponent gains.
One thing I want to shout out here real quick, by default, power gains like this actually happen on the next frame. Whereas combat power rate happens on the frame that the hit lands. This is important because it means that White Tiger is probably going to feel a little bit different than most other champions. And so watch for, if you are intending to throw a special 2, and you think that the hit is going to get you there, remember you're playing White Tiger and not somebody else, because it's possible you could throw the special just a little bit before the power takes you over the line. It's kind of like Mystic Dispersion in that, and that's just going to be something to keep in mind with her.
And if the opponent is benefiting from a power gain or energize buff, performing a combo-ending attack will nullify the buff off of the opponent. Now, when she's inflicted with a damaging debuff, she has a 20% chance for each buff on the opponent to purify it. Also, dashing forwards grants a non-stacking precision passive for 2 seconds. Now, let's check out her special attacks.
Yeah, it's very long shot, TJ.
On activation of her special attacks, she gains a Fury buff for 20 seconds. And using her special 1 grants an additional Fury buff. This maxes out at 5 stacks, and her Fury and Precision gained from dashing forwards are paused during her special attacks. Now, for each personal Fury buff, each hit of her special 1 and 2 power steals 1% of the opponent's current power, and White Tiger gains 200% of the power stolen. After this happens, this effect goes on cooldown until the end of White Tiger's next special attack. Additionally, finishing a special attack with at least 1 bar of power grants an unblockable passive for 1.5 seconds.
So I want to talk about the cooldown real quick, because I saw some questions about this before we started. It is pretty simple once you play it. It says it goes on cooldown until the end of her next special attack. You don't really need to worry about the end of all of that stuff. It literally just means every other special power steals. This one power steals, the next one won't. Then the next one will, then the next one won't. Just think about it that way. And then this unblockable literally just means, like, if you finish your special with the special ready, you're going to go unblockable.
This has a cooldown of 20 seconds. With the special 2, the final hit inflicts a bleed debuff for 3 seconds. If the opponent is indestructible, this bleed is paused, and while it's active, they can't heal, and the healing denied is transferred to White Tiger, up to 5% of her max health per second. And when this bleed expires, she nullifies all regen buffs on the opponent. The Special 3. As an attacker, this special cannot be activated unless she's charging or performing a heavy attack. This attack grants White Tiger 2 additional Fury buffs that can exceed her stack limit, and she inflicts a Fear debuff for 40 seconds. Fear reduces unblockable ability accuracy by a flat 100% and removes perfect block chance. Now, let's check out her signature ability.
Now, it's important to note a flat reduction happens separately from increased ability accuracy, right? So imagine that you have an opponent who has a 50% chance to go unblockable, and they have something increasing their chance to go unblockable by 100%. That 100% is non-flat, so the 50 is doubled to 100%. Then this flat minus 100% kicks in and would reduce it to 0. So you would need whatever the base ability accuracy is, then filtered through ability accuracy to be over 100% to get through this. So there are ways around it, but it is a very powerful unblockable counter. Additionally, it's ability accuracy, so anybody who can't be hit by ability accuracy will ignore it.
When awakened, she inflicts a fear passive at the start of each fight for up to 20 seconds. Additionally, once per fight, when either champion drops to 15% of their max health, White Tiger gains a power gain buff granting 100% of her max power over 6 seconds. As a defender, this only triggers once per quest. Now, let's take her out for a spin in the champion rotation.
Aren't you happy it only happens once per
To
quest?
begin, strike the opponent and start building your power. Performing a dash will grant a precision passive to satisfy the itch for those yellow numbers. And once you reach just under 2 bars of power, launch your first special to steal the opponent's power and gain your first Furies. You could launch another special one to stack on even more Furies and reset your Power Steal passive. Keep in mind, you have a 20% chance per buff on the opponent to purify incoming damaging debuffs. So, don't stress and build to your special 2 to place a juicy bleed that steals the opponent's regen, and if necessary, you could launch it again, since you just stole all that power. And now that the opponent is almost knocked out, continue the assault until they drop below 15%, and then use your power gain buff to end off with a final special 2 or that satisfying special 3 finale. Now, in a shorter fight, if possible, don't worry about the opponent's power and focus on repeatedly launching your special 1s to max out your Furies and steal that power on every other special activation. And once you're in range of that final strike, set yourself up and use that power gain to deliver a crushing special 2 finish. Thank you for watching this champion deep dive.
That's Ava. Alright, I do have somewhere to be at 5, but questions or clarifications? She's honestly somewhat simple. She can be a pain defender, but the thing to remember about her is that almost all of her threat and power comes from ability power. Like, if you have Petrify on her, she feels kind of like Purgatory, but worse. Because she has the defensive combat power rate, but she's just going to be draining her own power constantly, right? So, Spider-Man 2099, Mr. Fantastic, Void, Sandman, Captain America with Sam Wilson on the team. There are more. Apologies if I left out your favorite. Like America Chavez going outside the science class. Anyone who messes directly with ability power rate is going to be a really good counter to her, right? Because when that big power gain kicks in, if her ability power rate is reversed, well then now you don't have to worry at all. What other champs did the designer make? Their most recent one was Silk. I'm going to try and resist giving a complete list every time. Frequent viewers will get the picture, but it's just, for reasons. Why is her power steal every other attack versus tied to her unblockable? Well, the unblockable has a much longer cooldown, right? So that would actually be quite a bit worse. The reason the power steal is every other attack is because bluntly it's just too good otherwise. The goal of her power steal is to fuel the mystic identity of throwing a lot of specials. The goal of her power steal is not to keep the opponent from ever throwing a special 3. That's kind of the core tension. Because if you just throw power steal on every single special, it's pretty trivial for Mystics to just pretend the opponent doesn't have a special 3 animation. So she asks a little bit more of you than that. It is, of course, possible to keep most opponents off of that between her power steal and her ability to nullify power gain. But the goal is that she's not just an automatic you never go red button. The goal is that she has power steal more to fuel herself than to stop the other person. I think I said that about 4 different ways. So I'm going to stop talking. But open to any other thoughts. Yeah, if your power steal is on cooldown, sometimes you need to bait out a special before doing anything. It also means that she's at her best against people who actually have power gain buffs, right? Because then you can power steal and nullify the power gain buff, getting rid of 2 problems at the same time. Then they throw a special, and then you're like back to go or whatever. She is less good against other sources of power gain, like just Mystic Dispersion or Havoc or something, and that is intentional. Hey, Nick, how's it going? Seems like a pretty good Arcus counter. Yeah, she's a very good Arcus counter. And the thing is that you can kind of play it either way, because you can try and nullify all the power gain buffs and turn off Arcus that way, or you can let him keep the power gain buffs and just assume all of that power you're gaining is food for me. I don't care about the cold snap. I'm going to heal from the armor break because of the purify, right? And that works pretty darn well too. Yeah, exactly. You want ability power rate control just so that she doesn't get a ton of power from you gaining power. She is a threatening defender, but she is much more in the mold of like a 3.5 or a 4, where it's you want to pay attention to this, but you want to pay attention to this with a whole bunch of champions that are already in the game. Similar to Absorbing Man, but a bit less of an issue, right? Because that's how I built Absorbing Man, and that's how it has played out. Is people are remembering the other counters already in the game, and then trying to place him in places that stop those counters. You're going to see the same thing from White Tiger. I would expect to see her on a whole bunch of nodes with Purify to try and make it so that your opponent can't just bring Void or Reed. And then that's going to be countered by your America Chavez's and your Photons. And there's going to be a whole bunch of stuff going on, right? But the ecosystem is already there. She's not introducing a brand new threat. Hey, Amon. And of course, her healing control is very, very dangerous. It's really good. But the fact that it is tied to a bleed, and specifically a bleed debuff, does make it a little bit more interactive. It's not quite Warlock, and it's even a bit more interactive than like Scorpion Special 2. But it is really good. The cap is higher than Scorpion, and you don't need the SIG for it, so not to be underestimated. Happy New Year, Nick. Nothing stopping torching her? Not really. Except for the fact that, like, the number one way for Torch to die is the opponent to just go red. Because he has no ability power rate whatsoever, right? You can torture to death, but eventually she's going to gain that power. And you're hoping she throws it because you probably used your pre-fight, and therefore you're probably putting power stings on her. But you don't have a way to force her to throw the specials, and you very well could die. I think there's probably going to be a lot of Battlegrounds fights where it's Torch versus White Tiger, and it's just always going to be like she dies in 25 seconds or Torch dies in 24 seconds. Oof, that does sound rough, Nick. My run's been fine. I did have to quit out the first time. I underestimated how brain melting Diablo was going to be, but it's been good since. I do not like the implementation of this trap node, and it is going to keep messing with me, but it is what it is. I have. Like, the good thing about this path is that almost none of the fights really require you to heal, and I'm sitting on a bunch of tier 1 revives. And so I'm just going to spam them through the rest of this. It's the hardest path I have left. I'm not above spamming revives. And we're just not going to worry about the revive count, because that's what I farmed. Knowing her first name now has me positive I'm going to accidentally call her White Tigra so many times. Right, because this one is actually Hispanic. How's it possible to drain Gallon's power with White Tiger? It's not. Both because Gallon is immune to power drain and because White Tiger doesn't have power drain. What she does have is power steal, which Gallon has never been immune to. Hey, Misery, I forget if I said hi. Oh, I don't know, Nick. I have heard only rumors. Oh, one other thing I want to call out with her. It doesn't matter much for her most of the time. But fear, in addition to removing, or in addition to a flat reduction to unstoppable ability accuracy, also removes perfect block chance completely. And so if you see White Tiger on some kind of node that, I don't, like prowess puncture or something, right? Be a little careful of that, because if for some reason you end up blocking her specials, hoping that somebody like Shuri or Captain America will perfect block her, if the fear is on you, they won't. So just watch for that. Yeah, she's extremely fun. And the power steal is cool because a thing to remember with power steal that I think a lot of people don't necessarily know is that power steal is not always symmetrical. It's not always I gain exactly what I took. Some characters gain less than they took because their power steal is more about making the opponent's power go down than their own go up. She gains double what she steals. And when you combine that with the fact that she just passively gains some of what the opponent gets, that's why her specials just shoot her right back up once you get the Furies going. She's very good. I am hoping, provided I don't succumb to a headache or something, to get the Bullseye Spotlight with Context recorded tonight, and then I'm hoping to get the one for Ava out some other time this week. So keep an eye out for those, but we'll see. And thank you, Sean, to subscribing. I missed the notification. I like how subtle the pop-ups are, but I also miss them because of it. So apologies for not catching that earlier. But thank you for being here. Anyway, like I said, I have plans in 5 minutes, so I'm gonna go ahead and dip out. I know I didn't finish Spot, but that would take me more than 5 minutes to get through the rest of. I'll be back soon for more of this Necropolis path. Until then, everybody, thanks for hanging out and have a good one.